everyone. Welcome again to MGS Coaching Football. Thank you for watching my channel. I do really appreciate you. Today, in my continuing video series on our version of three match that we call Cover 10, I'm going to teach you on both the match side and the zone side separately how we would cover the sail concept. Okay, so Cover 10 three match versus a 2x2 set, right? As you'll see over here in the diagram. It's the sail concept, and again, I'm going to teach it to you on both the match and the zone side so you can see it. I'll go through the match assignments first, and then the zone side, and I'll get to the key coaching and teaching points that we give our players when we get to the diagram. Okay? So first up on the match side, right, I'm going to go to the diagram so we can understand that. This is an 11 personnel we call Gun Dallas Pistol. So for us, the pass strength goes to the two wide receivers, so that would make this a Liz. Therefore, that's the match side. Non-subscribers, you have to push the button as to why. So obviously, the zone side's opposite, okay? So on the match side, the dime here, D, he's going to take number 2. He's got him vertical, okay, or out. He'll cover the sail by number 2. Field corner will cover the fade by 1. Because they've got the verticals. Free safety, meanwhile, is spinning to the middle. Okay, so a Liz equals what we call a Roger. And they say it, but they also signal it. And we do that for film. Because I never want to hear, well, I told them, I communicate. Well, we'll see whatever the signal is. I'm not going to give it to you, but we'll see that signal on the film. So it's both signaled as well as said, and make sure that your players do it every single rep in practice on every single concept. Okay. So he's going to rotate middle, and he's going to carry number 2. He's going to make the carry call. He'll carry 2 initially. But then when it becomes a sail route, you'll see how we adapt to that on the fly. Okay. So then he'll end up being the middle third. On the zone side, the Rove is our 4th rusher. So we'll give you the key coaching points as relating to that. The Mike is our hook to curl defender, and if there's nobody in the hook or curl area, then he'll combo number 3, a Dabo combo we call it, with our safety, the whip. The boundary corner is our deep third defender, but he's going to clue 2, so he's going to start off with 2 verticals, so we'll show you how we teach to defend that. And ultimately, he's going to have to defend the fade of number 1. That's way too far for the free safety, right? And the free safety can't cover the sail either. It's not an easy concept, but it's doable. There is no pass coverage that I'm aware of that can completely defend every single concept there is. I mean, offenses are going to complete passes. All right, you got to limit how many of those they complete, and then you got to limit the yards after a completion, right? Yards after catch. So, all right, and then the whip completes the safety spin by screwing down. Okay, and he's going to be the curl flat defender, and ultimately he's going to have to undercut number 2 sail. All right, so we'll teach you how we'll teach you how we teach our players, right? Simplified teaching equals simplified learning, or easy teaching equals easy learning, right? So now let's get over here. Okay, first of all, I'm going to box in the 2 uncovered guards. All of our pass defenders, okay, on both sides here, read their surface key, their portion of the surface on their side of the football. In our 3-4, it's the uncovered guard. It's our base front, okay? So when I talk about surface 2, it's here. And so just for the purposes of this video, okay, each guy is given the hi-hat. So that's the signal to our pass defenders, whoop, screen pass, and get into your assignment, okay? So there we go. There's the hi-hats for both sides. So the first thing I'll do is diagram the sail concept on both sides, right? And obviously there's variations of the sail. But the variation that I'm using is we got a fade route by number 1, and we got a deep out of 10 to 12 yards or so by number 2. Okay? Fade route, deep out, 10 to 12. Okay? All right, so on the match side, it's kind of easy in that he matches 2's vertical, he matches 1's vertical, right on the match side. So they got 2 verticals. So starting here with the corner, surface matches the tempo, carries it, keeps it to his inside. He's got the zone leverage. He wants to try and ride the upfield shoulder, be in phase. So not necessarily capping the fade, but he's also preventing the fade, although quarterback at least throwing the fade away from the defender. He'll have to lead him in to the inside, okay? Here, same thing. He's going to carry the vertical of 2, and when it becomes the sail, he stays on top of it. So, per usual, the match side of things is probably the easier side of the 2 sides, okay? I'll come back to the inside linebackers. He's going to read his portion of the surface. When he gets this, he starts spinning over. He's initially getting a carry read, meaning a vertical read from number 2. So as he's working over here, okay, he'll see that this breaks off as the sail route. At that point, he becomes the middle third defender. And he's reading the quarterback indicator. So now I'm going to skip over to here. Sit step, right? Gets the hi-hat. He clues 2. So 2's going vertical. 1's going vertical. He lines up with outside leverage. He's going to work to apex. So he's in between the 2 verticals. Okay, and then initially, he knows he's got help carrying this vertical, so he won't necessarily get to apex. But as he's working, as he starts at 7, as he's pedaling, he'll see this break off. So now he's got to pedal butt to boundary. If he needs to cross over, he'll cross over. Okay, I don't have the time to get into all the different footworks that we teach our guys. But he now has to get over and try and cap the fade from number 1. That's his priority. That's the biggest threat to his deep third is the fade. If he jumps the sail, it's a touchdown, right? There's no way he can get there. Remember, he's screwing down in a minute. All right, so normally he's going to work the apex. But as he's getting there and this breaks off, he's got to work himself back over the top of the fade. He's essentially more of a wall because he's inside of the fade. So this will be a situation, if the quarterback threw it, he's going to lead him away from the defender toward the sideline. So it's different than it is over here. But both guys are taught the same situation, how to carry it, keep it to the inside, how to wall it, right? Keep it to the outside. So now let's get to the all-important screw down safety, the whip, who's our curl flat defender, right? Same thing. Reading his portion of the surface, same portion, gets the hi-hat. As he's screwing down, I should say, excuse me, he's reading and he screws down no matter what, run pass. Because he's a sky force. He's adding to the box if it's a run. Another beautiful thing about cover 10 3 match. So now as he comes down, as I always say, if you can reroute 2, please do. Well, 2's not going to let him do that. But he's at 12. He's going to make the break at 10. So this break will occur behind him. But as he's coming down, right, he sees that he's not the curl threat. His eyes are over here, and he clearly sees that 1 is long gone. He's got the jets humming. He's running that fade route, right? It's a full speed route. Around 8, 9, 10 yards, give or take. The sooner he can read that, the better, obviously, right? As soon as he does, he's going to throttle down, and we have him work toward the sideline because his help is inside here, right? So if this guy were to break it off and work into a deeper hook, he's got help. There's no help out here because of the fade route. So as he comes down, his eyes are heading to swivel. His eyes are looking at one. One's gone. He's going to throttle it down. The sooner the better. Can't be any closer than 8 yards. And this is the reason why, especially as coaches, you do your film study, you got your tendencies, you know what team's going to run the sail, then you've got to really work on your guys recognizing. You got 2 verticals, work to the sideline. So now what that does is it puts him in a position to undercut the sail route, the quarterback. And now this is where the whip's got to keep his head in a swivel. As he's working to the sideline, he's got to look back to see if, in fact, the receiver's behind him. What's the receiver doing? Perhaps the receiver is working in a dig route, right, which will be taken care of by the free. Right, so he's got to have that head in the swivel. So he's got to see quarterback indicator and recognize that the sail's behind him. Now that forces the quarterback to really be a sharpshooter when it comes to having just the right arc on it, tons of speed, but it's got to be perfect, right? It's got to be a perfect throw. So we're not talking NFL or FBS, Alabama style here. Okay, that's a really difficult throw. And by undercutting it correctly, by always teaching the curl flat, screw down safety, if one's vertical and two's were behind you because he was vertical, remember, he starts at 12, he's screwing down, work to the sideline. Get yourself in a position to potentially undercut a sail. All right, or if not, if he runs a dig, what if he's running a comeback? Keep going. You can undercut the comeback, and now we can high-low a comeback. Helps the corner. Either way, get there. That's where we want our curl flat defender to be. Okay? So now we got over here our Rover, the rush guy. The coaching point is he doesn't see the same surface. His focus is tight end. Knockback, fistful of tight end. The guys around him are going to be screaming pass, and the coaching point is as soon as your shoulders, hips are both turned, you got to let them go, and you got to get after the quarterback. You're the 4th rusher. So what we normally do is the D end on the side of the Rover, on the zone side, is going to pass rushing, into B gap. And so what makes this a read, the Rover has 2 rush options after he reroutes the tight end. Beat him with speed's always the first option. Okay? So if you can get on top of the tackle, right, finish the circle, run that circle and get to the quarterback, that's your first option. But if the tackle vertically sets and he's ready, then we give the Rover the green light to counter move and rip up under. All right, give a little surprise to the quarterback who doesn't expect to see you because the guard's going to be engaged with that defensive end. So that's the read. So last but certainly not least, our 2 inside linebackers, right? Our match 3 and our hook curl Dabo. Well, part of the hook curl is he recognizes there is no threat to the hook curl. Okay, so if this becomes a deeper hook route, he's got to get some help by that being communicated to him by the safeties. Okay, because as soon as he doesn't have an immediate, and when we say an immediate, it's going to be an under 10-yard route. I mean, it could be a stick route, could be an arrow route, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 yards or so. He'll see that. But anything deeper than that, he's not going to necessarily see. So what ends up happening is the 2 inside linebackers, in essence, are in combo on number 3, the running back. So the rules are simple for both. Number 3, to me, I match him. All right, boom, done. 3 to me, I match him. All right. So in this case, defensive end's going to have outside cage. We teach our nose to rush the A gap on the side of the quarterback arm. So if he's right-handed QB, right? It takes him up in the left A gap. So if the running back's in protection, he's going to add to the rush. His key's telling him to rush. So now we got a 5-man rush, and that's all dictated by the offense. Okay, beautiful thing. That's a big part of match, right? The offense tells you what you should do defensively. So 3 goes away. You're going to mirror spy the quarterback. And all mirror is you spying the quarterback. Yes. Mirror, wherever the quarterback moves, you move with him. I want him to see you in his mirror. So when he looks in the mirror, he's looking at you. Too often they talk about it. There's so on TV, there's so and so, he's spying the quarterback. Well, the quarterback's here and the spy's over here, and the quarterback gets away from the spy, right? You got to mirror the cue. Make sure he's looking at you. That's what we say, right? Everything's in a rhyme because that's how we learn as very young kids in rhymes. So the sail concept, that's how we defend it on the match and the zone sides, and it's a good opportunity for me to teach you how we teach our curl flat defender, right? No threat to the curl, no threat to the flat, work to the sideline just in case it's a sail, just in case it's a comeback. Okay, or even if it was an ultra deep curl, like 15 to 13, by working the sideline, you're going to be in the throwing lane. Okay, and it affects the timing, it affects the arc of the ball, the whole deal. So as I said at the beginning, thank you for watching. I do really appreciate it. Subscribers, non-subscribers, I really hope we've teased you into pushing that button.